In the colder winter months, it can be particularly difficult to keep all of the primates busy and active. At the guenon enclosure, the primate care staff hope to alleviate the issue with an idea new to this group: a series of puzzle feeders.
Lovely. We'll just check that it still spins. Yep, still spins, that's good.
The guenon's breakfast of parsnip and cauliflower, with a few nuts thrown in, has been put in the tubes which have then been stuffed with straw.
There's holes in all of the tubes that are about the size of a guenon hand, so they should be able to reach in there. They're going to have to do a lot of manipulation. They're going to have to figure out the best way to get into it, and obviously we've made that a little bit harder by enabling all of these tubes to spin. It's not something they've come across before, so they might be balancing on it. This whole thing is moving as well with the branch, so it's going to be a lot of core work going in here and a fair amount of brain power, so hopefully they figure it out.
Everything is set. Time to see if the family of 3 are up to the task. The guenons leap to it. They're quick and nimble, very light on their feet, and are able to negotiate the smallest of branches. And they're extremely inquisitive. The cardboard tubes immediately capture their attention, and with varying techniques, the guenons start to seek out the food. It's a small family consisting of Mum Nia, Dad Benny, and their 6-year-old daughter Biff. In the wild, these busy monkeys would live in large groups of 20 or more. Benny and Nia are a very close couple. And their daughter Biff is as gung-ho as ever.
Biff is definitely an adult now. She is quite large. She's still not in charge, but she is large. So she's a lot like her dad, Benny. She's quite gentle, a little more standoffish with the keepers now that she's older. Whereas Benny is still very focused on keepers. You know, he's a really friendly guy. He'll always head shake. And then there's Nia, who is the boss. She's quiet. She is in charge. If she turns up, the others will leave, which is quite interesting because she's half the size of the other 2. And they've all got their individual quirks as well. So that's interesting to watch as well.
The 3 red-bellied guenons are the only individuals of their species kept outside of their native Benin. Nia and Benny were rescued after being stolen from the wild for the illegal black market trade. Their daughter Biff was born at the park, loves life, and is fearless. The cardboard tubes are tricky to maneuver, but the clever guenons think on their feet. Stretching and balancing as they try to grasp the food inside gives them an excellent workout. When they reach it, they store some of the food in their mouths. Guenons have cheek pouches so they can collect food quickly as they move around and eat it later. The cardboard tube feeders have been a triumph. The whole family attacked them with enthusiasm and gained the rewards.
Yeah, that was really successful. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, they've interacted with it really well. They're still interacting with it. They've figured half of it out. And yeah, it was really got a good chance to see all their different personalities come through. Yeah, chuffed.
The last few months have brought a lot of changes for the park's lemurs. Ever since Alison collected 4 males from a private collection in Kettering, the primate care staff have been working on plans to integrate them with the park's existing troop. 3 of the 4 males are now living with the park's group of older males at Malagasy. The odd one out is Ben, father to the other newbies. He's missing a leg, and the team decided life in the trees of Malagasy would be too challenging for him. Instead, he moved to the Guenon house and was joined by female lemur Fennel. The pair have formed a strong bond.
We're happy with how those two have come together. They're really, really close. They're always sort of constantly sort of huddled up together. So considering that they're a pretty new pair and they are very supportive of each other. Fennel's far more sort of switched on and aware of everything that's going on, and obviously she's had a lot of change. Also Ben has, but he seems a little bit more just laid back about things, not as interested in everything. He's quite food focused, and yeah, so they're quite a nice match together.
The challenge for the primate care staff is deciding where the two lemurs should live. They've introduced them to the family of 3 guenons, Ben, Nia and daughter Biff, attempting numerous individual computations to see if they could get along. It's not the first time the guenons have lived with a different species. They previously shared their home with Patus monkey Mitza and elderly lemur George.
In captivity, mixed exhibits often are very successful, and it can provide quite a stimulating, enriching environment for them, so long as they're coexisting, peacefully with each other, and that nobody's feeling stressed with that kind of arrangement. So that's our main priority, that they can coexist nicely together, even if they need to sort of have evenings apart to eat their dinner and have a bit of time to settle with each other's sort of friends.
But the energetic guenons have proved to be a bit full-on, leaving Fennel and Ben a little unsure in their new surroundings. So today, the team are going to try a different approach. To begin with, they're going to let Biff out on her own with the 2 lemurs. They've filled the enclosure with camellia flowers and leaves, something they all love to eat and which might distract Biff, who may also be less confident and boisterous without her mum and dad by her side.
They're a bit mischievous, and I think that the lemurs are obviously pulling all of their attention at the moment. So we're hoping that the extra sort of enrichment in here will give them a bit more to think about.
Steph opens up, letting Biff out first. The young guenon loves her food, so hopefully she'll head straight for the flowers and pay less attention to the 2 lemurs. It's going to plan. Biff can't resist the lure of the colourful flower and tucks in, while Fennel takes the opportunity to sneak out. She's soon followed by Ben, who, despite missing a leg, is pretty nimble. The 2 lemurs keep their distance, aware Biff is in the enclosure, but keeping well away, skirting around the edges. Ben takes a cautious look around before grabbing a camellia from the platform and heading away. But Fennel doesn't seem able to relax. She's continually on guard, looking out for a feisty guenon. Biff hasn't been taking any notice of the pair. Until now. She suddenly decides to give chase. The young guenon wants to have some fun and someone to play with. The more the lemurs run, the more fun it is, while also keeping them away from the tasty flowers. Neither Ben nor Fennel have shared space with another species before. They just want a quiet life. But Biff doesn't understand.
She doesn't want to challenge them, she doesn't want to attack or fight, it's just a bit of fun and game for her. And I think if they just kind of went, no, actually, this isn't happening, you're not going to chase us, then she would kind of go, okay, and back off and go off and probably carry on foraging and keeping herself busy.
Sharon gives the trio a while longer to work things out. But when Biff sets about Ben and Fennel once more, she calls time. It's back to the drawing board for the team, who need to come up with a new plan for a permanent home for the pair of lemurs. GPS collars are a useful tool for the team. Earlier in the year, golden-cheeked Gibbons Kizzy, her partner Dong, and their 3 youngsters were released by Marina and the team into an area of the Lanark, which along with Cat Tien National Park is in a protected area called the Don Nai Biosphere Reserve. Kizzy was fitted with a collar and the team have been tracking their whereabouts ever since. Marina can even follow them from back in the UK.
These collars are so great. They're like a bridge. We know that they need around 40 to 60 hectares in this forest type to find enough food. So using the GPS, we can map how much ground they're covering. We know that they have a brain map. This map, it's like anyone who goes shopping, you have a map of where all the food is in the supermarket or in the village, and you know where to go. The gibbons are trying to create that. They need this map. They need to know when this fig tree is fruiting, when this jackfruit tree is in, when this wild chom-chom's in. They need to have this knowledge because they have to compete with birds and macaques, so they have to have a really active knowledge and know where to go. So this GPS gives us a really good indicator of the ground they're covering and the potential map that they're building.
Marina and the team have been releasing rehabilitated gibbons back into the forests of Vietnam for 14 years, with varying degrees of success. However, she's confident Kizzy and her family are there to stay.
Kizzy and Dum and their offspring are the best yet. They're pretty untouched. They've had 10 years in a forested enclosure. The infants have never been in a cage or anything, so they're as wild as they could possibly be. And now they have their own home range.
When Lee isn't in Vietnam, his work continues back in Dorset. This morning, he's helping Jeremy and the team move golden cheeked gibbons Kim and Tien to a temporary home at the park's Gibbon complex. The pair's house and enclosure are in need of some TLC. The team hope to crate up the two gibbons and move them with as little stress as possible so the work can begin.
We've just got Kim and Tien in one of their outer tunnels now while we're rigging up a crate, and we're going to pop them into a crate and then move them to main house for a short spell, just while we do a bit of essential maintenance on the enclosure and also refurbish the house as well, which hasn't been done in years, so that'll be quite nice for them.
Kim and Tien have spent all their adult lives in this wonderful tree-filled enclosure. They're a devoted pair who love to spend their time grooming or singing from the treetops. The maintenance team at the park monitor the primate houses and enclosures and keep on top of any work that needs doing. Kim and Tien's home has come to the top of their list. In order that they can begin, the primate care staff make sure the gibbons are settled.
Good boy, come on.
While the team manoeuvre the large and heavy travel crate into position. They haven't had a lot of crate training, so persuading them in may not be straightforward. A little bit of gentle encouragement is needed.
Go on. Yep. Right, that's bolted down. They're in, yep.
Kim and Tien are quickly secured together safely in the crate, with very little stress.
No, not too bad. I mean, they're not the happiest little gibbons in the world, but yeah, we didn't have the prep time to crate train them, but as they go to main house, this crate's going to stay with them and we're going to work on them for the return journey, so hopefully next time it won't be so stressful for them. But no, they went a lot quicker than I thought it would, actually.
Hello. Hello, Grump. Don't worry, I'll fill you full of bananas once you're at main house.
It's not far to the main gibbon house, but moving a heavy crate with two gibbons inside is strenuous. A buggy and trailer make light work of the final part of the journey, and the gibbons have each other for comfort. The team have already prepared the entrance to the gibbons' temporary home, and the crate should marry up for ease of access.
Get it on. You've got to get hold of it from the bottom of it. Yeah.
Primate care staff member Sarah is inside, ready to give Kim and Tien added reassurance.
You just lift the fig up, mate.
Jeremy opens up the crate.
Right, it's Tien through. Kim's still hanging on in there. And she's through. Slide shut.
The pair are straight into their new bedrooms to explore and are greeted with a cacophony of noise from the other gibbons at the complex.
They've only actually been around gibbons when they were brought up with their parents, Jake and Zoe and Peanut and Ponyo. and siblings. So yeah, it is a big change for them, as we've got, we've got the Mullers, we've got the Lar, we've got the Agile, and we've got more golden cheeks in a close proximity. So yeah, big culture shock for these guys. I mean, they're a young couple, so hopefully they'll adapt quite well. And hopefully it won't be too long before they move back to where they came from.
Kim and Tien will need a couple of days inside to get used to the sights and sounds of their temporary home. But they won't be there for long. As soon as the work on their house is complete, they'll be able to return to their lovely tree-filled home. One of the park's oldest gibbons, golden-cheeked female Alex, is having problems eating. She has a broken canine and an abscess, which appear to be causing her pain. The primate care team have also noticed some weight loss in recent weeks. They've called in the vets to remove the infected tooth and give the gibbon, who's thought to be about 37 years old, a thorough examination. David Holler will perform the procedure, with wildlife vet Rowena Killick managing the anaesthetic.
No, thank you. So you'll just let us know when she's had it? Yeah.
Alex, who's lived at the park for more than 20 years, is diabetic and needs daily insulin to keep her condition under control. She had an arm amputated in the past, following a fight with another gibbon. She's been trained to take injections, and one of the primate care staff has successfully hand-injected her so she can be quickly taken the short distance to the park's hospital. But because she's having an anaesthetic, she hasn't eaten or had her insulin yet. It makes today's dental surgery more complicated.
We are having to make slight alterations and allowances in the anaesthetic protocol to make sure that her blood glucose doesn't go too low or too high through the procedure. And mostly it's making sure we've got everything prepared so that the procedure is as short as we can possibly make it, but we will also be checking the blood glucose periodically throughout and making any alterations as necessary.
As soon as Alex is on the table, Rowena intubates her and inserts a cannula for fluids, which will help the gibbon's recovery.
OK.
The reading is high, but the vets will keep monitoring her. David now needs an X-ray of the tooth and surrounding area to see what's causing Alex's problem.
Yeah, properly broken, but it's actually started to regress the root, and it's actually ankylosed back to there, so.
It's as he suspected.
A bit rotten. It may mean we're going to be digging around to get fragments and bits out for a little while, but we'll find out in a moment.
David is pleased with how it's gone.
We had to cut away the bone a little bit, take the root out, scrape out all of the infected tissue, and then close it up and, wake her up, which has gone very smoothly, all things considered. And, yeah, she's up and about and looking pretty good already for a very short time following the anaesthetic. So.
Alex will be returned to her bedroom where the team will keep her under observation. Hopefully, she'll be back to her normal self in no time. It's been a few months since golden-cheeked gibbons Kim and Tien moved into the main gibbon house while essential maintenance work was carried out on their own house and enclosure. The plan was to move the pair into the old Loris house, which was being renovated for them, and would connect with a new tunnel to their huge outdoor enclosure. But the team hit a few snags along the way, and in the meantime have come up with Plan B. This means moving the two golden-cheeked gibbons back to their previous house, and today they're being crated up ready for the short journey.
Sean has got his team ready to go. They're going to get them into a crate that he's preset in their enclosure. They've been going into that, so fingers crossed on the move today. They go into it and then we can get them down there, get them settled, and then potentially, hopefully tomorrow, let them back out into their enclosure.
The team are well practiced in moving animals around, and the crate has been left in situ for a couple of days so Kim and Tien can get used to it.
Hello. I know. It's not a fun time. Don't tell me off. Right. Game.
To keep the gibbons' stress levels to a minimum, the aim is to move them together in the same crate. Kim and Tien are a very close pair and don't like to be separated.
Now. Good.
The trust built up with the care staff aids the process, and it doesn't take long to secure them both together.
Came in really well. Fair play to them, considering it's only been a weekend of crate training. So we're just going to get them down, loaded on the buggy and get them down to the house.
It may be a short journey to their previous home, but once there, the team have to carry the crate the length of the large enclosure to link it up to the tunnel leading into the house.
You got the strap? Yeah.
I think they'll just be happy to get out the crate. That second we open that slide, they're going to shoot right into the house.
Nice and slow on the slides.
Kim and Tien seem ecstatic to be home and head straight in.
They seem pretty relaxed, and just for the rest of the day, they're going to have their outer tunnels to move around in, just so we're 100% happy they're definitely settled before tomorrow they go back outside and finally back out in the trees. It's not an unfamiliar environment. I think they're just going to be just happy to be back.
In the meantime, work on their new house will continue. Tung, a female golden-cheeked gibbon rescued in 2018, was found abandoned in a car park in Ho Chi Minh City before being brought to Dao Tien. At 7 years old, she's a strong, feisty character who loves being in the trees. But she needs a partner, and as luck would have it, the team may have just found one.
It just so happens as we were following Kizzy family and following the Dukes in the wild, we started to hear this single male. We tracked this single male, who we later called Phuk, and we mapped his area in the forest, his area without a lady. So we suddenly realised maybe we could place a female in this area where Phuk is hanging out.
Tung is the perfect fit. She's already had a final health check and been fitted with a GPS collar so they can follow her progress. A temporary release cage has been placed in an area of the forest where the lone male has been heard. But reaching the site is challenging due to heavy recent rains. The vehicle constantly gets stuck in the mud on the forest tracks, forcing the team to get out and push. After an arduous journey, they arrive, and Tung is let into the release cage. She'll spend the next 48 hours getting used to the sights and sounds of the forest. Two days later, Marina and the team are back in the area to check on Tung. But before they do, they head for a neighbouring vicinity to track the 3 recently released Dukes. Using the VHF radio beacon on Peter's collar, it doesn't take long to find them. Marina is delighted to discover Peter and Anna have stuck together and are looking after Kui. And she's pretty certain Anna is pregnant. The trio are eating a variety of leaves and fruits, including a type Marina hasn't seen before.
This is second breakfast for Kui and Anna and Peter this morning. We'll take it back with us to identify it. They're eating a little bit of this orange flesh and then the huge seed inside. So, not sweet at all, but not bitter, just a little bit of flesh.
Content the 3 are thriving, the team head for Tung's release cage.
Luckily, we're blessed with no rain, so it was easier to get here, and also not such a tough night for Tung. Because of the rain, the single male Phuk has been quiet, so he hasn't sung for 3 days, so she doesn't know he's out there yet. She just thinks, oh my God, where am I?
Because this is a single release, Tung will be on her own. But the team are hopeful the lone male will show up and join her, increasing her chances of survival. To help her get started, the team will supplement her diet for the first few days, or until they're satisfied she's eating the leaves and fruit that are naturally available. Time to see how Tung will react to her newfound freedom. She's straight up into the trees, searching for food, and doesn't seem fazed at all. She eats contentedly from the feeder and then munches on fresh leaves from the canopy. Marina is happy with Tung's reaction, but knows there's still a long way to go.
Now we rely on the GPS collar for the rest of the day, and then the team will come in tomorrow morning to find her, to provide her with breakfast in case she hasn't found enough. But most importantly, we just hope that Fook will sing tomorrow, and then Tung will not be alone. Then the next adventure starts. What on earth is she going to think of this wild male singing?
Tung will be monitored by a team of dedicated rangers over the next year. But for Marina and the team, today's task is complete. And with more and more primates being rescued, work at Dao Tien continues. Back at the park in Dorset, a pair of golden-cheeked gibbons are also getting ready to be released into the trees. The primate care staff are doing final checks at Kim and Tien's large forest enclosure. Their new house isn't quite ready, but the enclosure has been renovated, with trees and undergrowth cut back and new fencing erected.
Obviously, they haven't been in this enclosure for a few months now, and even though they might be familiar with the trees and the furniture in the enclosure, it's always a good idea just to keep an eye on them, make sure that they can brachiate safely around. A few of the trees have been chopped down around the edges and a few branches cut back and things like that, so nothing majorly done to the big trees that they utilise, so hopefully it shouldn't be a problem.
Time to see what the two gibbons make of it all. Sarah opens up and the pair race out, with Kim leading the way. She's usually very food-orientated, but not today. Despite the rain teeming down, Kim is happy moving through the tree canopy, using the ropes as she brachiates from tree to tree, exploring and checking if anything's new in her territory. Tien goes straight to the pulley feeders, suspended high up above the ground. Gibbon's arms are perfectly adapted for eating in the high canopy, and he holds on with one while reaching into the feeder with the other and seizing a piece of cucumber. Satisfied with her inspection and with food now on her mind, Kim heads over to one of the feeders. At 19 years of age, Tien is 2 years older than his partner. They're a devoted couple who never stray far from each other. The rain has little effect on their daily lives. The dense canopy provides plenty of shelter. Golden-cheeked gibbons are native to Vietnam and Cambodia, so well adapted to the tropical monsoon climate.
Yes, absolutely ecstatic. The weather really doesn't bother any of us. Straight out, up into the trees. Happy that they're back. Hopefully they'll then settle into their routine, back to normal.
Kim and Tien aren't the only pair back outside today. The new orangutan birth isn't the only success story connected to the park in recent months. In Vietnam, at Dao Tien, Monkey World's sister sanctuary, there's been cause to celebrate too. The team recently released a trio of black-shanked dukes, Peter, Anna and Quy, into the forest area within Dong Nai Biosphere Reserve. Anna and Quy became the centre's first hand-reared animals to be released back into the wild. An important and exciting achievement. The trio are thriving in their newfound freedom, and Anna has given birth to a baby boy.
It's just fantastic. It means that they're adjusting to the wild, to the food in the wild, to all the different animals that they're close to. They've got over the shock of the elephants, and most importantly, they're surviving in the wild after horrible early years in the illegal pet trade.
And there's another group doing well too. Kizzy's family of golden-cheeked gibbons, released into the wild last year, are also thriving. They've established their home range, are finding enough food in the forest and staying together. And now their group has increased by 1.
They're living like wild gibbons. Each day I get videos from our field team, and they've just told me in the last few weeks that Kizzy's had another baby. So this is just a huge milestone. They're living independently wild in the forest, and they're breeding.
At the Capuchin complex, the primate care staff are putting together a puzzle they hope Winslow's troop will be able to solve.
Today we're making kaplunk feeders for the Capuchins, for Winslow's gang. We've got tubes filled with straw and lots of lovely tasty treats. We've got frozen medlars in there, there's frozen raspberries, there's whole walnuts, all sorts of lovely goodies. And then we've stuck these bits of bamboo in to make it a bit harder. And in theory, the monkeys are going to work out how to get the treats.
The park has 5 Capuchin groups, some larger than others. The majority arrived in 2008, when Monkey World undertook one of the largest primate rescues in history. With the help of the Chilean authorities and its Air Force, 88 Capuchins were rescued from a biomedical laboratory there and brought to Dorset. Others have been rehomed from the British and European pet trades. Winslow's troop is something of an assortment.
We've got a mixture of wild, caught and lab-born monkeys in this group. There are 12 monkeys in the group in total. Within that, we've got some individuals that really, really like enrichment. We've got some individuals that really like climbing, so those ones that are hung up a bit higher are going to be better placed for people like Jane and Joanne and Debbie. Esther and Daisy absolutely love puzzles, but they're not the best climbers in the world, so perhaps they're better suited for the ones that are closer to the ground. And then you've got individuals like Dodger who just get excited about everything and don't necessarily engage with the enrichment in the planned way.
The tubes are being hung all around the enclosure. The team use a hoist to get the higher ones into position. These should encourage the more agile Capuchins to climb up for their food as they might in the wild. Others are tied near a ground level for those not able to go so high. Whichever they opt for, Winslow's group will need to give the matter some careful thought.
There's basically lots of different ways they can approach this task. It depends on what everyone else is doing too. If you're really clever and you've got someone pulling out all the sticks for you and you sit underneath it, you'll get all the treats without any effort.
The low rankers, like Norman, Joanne and Jane, are let out first to give them a head start. The team have also thrown a scatter of primate pellet into the long grass, so there's plenty of food to go around. Joanne is first to investigate the puzzle feeders. She's in her 40s, but age appears no obstacle as she zips up the hose and starts investigating the tube from above. But when it's not obvious how to find the food, she moves on. Joanne is one of the few Capuchins who were wild caught, so her climbing skills are good. However, solving the puzzle is proving taxing today. Jane tries a different technique, tackling the feeder from below. Capuchins are great problem solvers, and Jane's efforts pay off with a frozen raspberry. Next out are the high-ranking troop members, keen to see what they're missing.
We have some great characters in this group. We have Bossman Winslow. He's the alpha male. He's brilliant. He's really clever. He's a really fair, great leader. We've got some very, very loyal followers of Winslow, so Esther and Daisy are never far behind. Whether or not they'll be focused on Winslow or the enrichment depends on what day of the week it is and how excited they are to see Winslow or food. We've also got Babe in this group. Babe is really, really bright. She's also really active. She loves climbing around and sort of exploring things. So I think she'll be pretty far up the list of monkeys, going into the middle of things.
Babe came from the pet trade and was rehomed from a family in Spain, along with her sister Amy. After a rocky start, she's now one of the top ladies in Winslow's group, and despite being a pet trade monkey, often exhibits great natural behaviours, especially when it comes to climbing and foraging. The leader of the troop, Winslow, goes for the easy option this morning, picking up food that's fallen from the tubes. Above him, others like Onslow use their clever brains to work out the puzzle and do all the hard work. It's been a fun challenge with all the Capuchins getting involved and reaping the rewards. Rachel is pleased with how it's gone.
It's a lovely day today. The monkeys are having a really nice time. There's enough bits of enrichment out there that there's nearly one for each monkey, so everyone's had a good chance to explore if they want to. And it's just great to see these ex-wild animals that were taken out of the forest into that horrible laboratory environment for so long. Despite everything they've been through, they come out and they're the ones that are climbing, they're the ones that are teaching the youngsters, exploring and getting the best treats out of it, and they just look so happy, and it's a real nice thing to see.
It's a baking hot day at the park, and with the sun beating down, one group of lucky Capuchins are about to get a cooling treat. Frozen fruits in all shapes and sizes have been strung up in Donnie's outdoor enclosure to encourage the troop of 12 to use their climbing and problem-solving skills. But that's not all. The care team have one final item to test the Capuchins, and it's rather large.
We've got a picnic basket which we're filling with browse, and inside there will be nice frozen balls that they've got to rummage and forage through to try and get all the nice tasty bits.
Capuchins are highly intelligent and great at solving problems, and this troop is no exception.
We've got some really bright animals in this group. We've got Frida and Emily, we've got Fabian, who's bright when he's not being chased by the girls. They all have limitations on their intelligence, so if social issues creep up, then sometimes they forget their puzzle-solving skills and like to have a bit of a squabble instead. So it'll be really interesting to see whether that happens or whether everybody thinks, oh good, new challenge, let's have some fun.
With the frozen treats already starting to defrost in the sun, Rachel gets to work opening up the numerous slides to let the troop out. During the hot summer months, the Capuchins often have 24-hour access to the outside to give them as much space as possible while the weather is good. They've been inside this morning while the team distribute their icy delicacies, and they're keen to get back out.
Here they come!
Fabian is one of the first out. He's one of the youngest and brightest. Straight away, he works out how to reach a frozen pomegranate, biting easily through the string so he can take it away to enjoy without having to work any harder. It takes a little perseverance, but it's worth it, and he heads off with his prize. Working smarter, not harder, has paid off. Marcy tries a different technique, anchoring her tail around the cargo net. It gives her extra support as she reaches down with both hands to tackle a frozen melon. Digit uses one of the bolts on the climbing frame to smash open a frozen ball and reach the icy treat inside. In the wild, Capuchins have demonstrated similar tool use, showing just how intelligent this species is. Everyone is getting stuck in. There's plenty to go around, and lots of happy Capuchin chirping.
Those little chirpy noises you can hear are happy Capuchin sounds. It lets the rest of the troop know that there's something decent on offer, helps make sure that the rest of the troop, which is often their family, get access to decent food, and that's a really important thing for a group animal, that everyone knows that there's stuff available and they can share it. Although obviously number one is the most important, so they want the best bit for themselves and then everyone else can have what's left.
Attention turns to the picnic basket, with the Capuchins curious to discover what's inside. Felipe immediately flips the lid and starts rummaging. He's joined by leader Donnie, and they search through the browse that's hiding the treats. Donnie finds a frozen ball and heads into a tunnel to crack it open. Learning from watching each other, the clever Capuchins are having a smashing time. While most are preoccupied with the frozen balls, female Emily takes the opportunity to thoroughly search the picnic basket, rummaging down to the bottom.
Emily is currently working really hard to get the plastic balls from the bottom of the basket without falling in. So she's using her tail to stabilise herself as she's doing so. These lovely semi-prehensile tails which she can use to counterbalance themselves.
It pays off, and she retrieves a ball and heads off to crack it open. All of this group were born in a Chilean laboratory, so haven't experienced life in the wild. Some are more cautious than others, and each individual has their own way of going about things.
They come with a range of different risk tolerances, just like humans. Some Capuchin monkeys are very foolhardy and will just run straight into something without thinking about it. Other Capuchins like to consider the situation and all the possible risks involved. Emily is one of those. She watches what's happening. She's very intelligent. She works out where the best treats are, how easiest to get them, and she won't put herself in any danger.
With plenty of treats to go around, even the low rankers, like Olive, have enjoyed their fair share.
This is going to keep them busy for a long time. I'm very glad we don't have to try and get them all to come inside this evening, because I think they're going to be out here enjoying the snacks until, well after the sun's gone down.